inevitably, also my heart feels deeply for you, sister, and the sister before. Mario Fuentes, I was a refugee from El Salvador, wrongly called one of the banana republics. There were no bananas except for the few ones that I ate. The year was 1940. I was not around yet. But this gentleman, maybe some of you may be able to see it. His name, su nombre, Salvadoran diplomat Jose Arturo Castellanos. He was a Salvadoran Consul General in Geneva in the 1940s. And I read, Castellanos was El Salvador Consul General in Geneva during the World War II. Granted some 40,000 passports and birth certificates to Jews from different countries, mainly from Hungary, so that they could escape the Nazis, according to an investigation by El Salvador Foreign Ministry. One of those persons that was assisted by one of the documents that was expedited by this compatriot of mine, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce the name correctly, but I'm going to try. Isaac Mayer. He was a teenager during the war years who says that the identity papers that Castellanos provided to him allowed him to leave his house to buy food and saved him several times when he was arrested by the Nazis. On more than one occasion, this particular survivor has shown the ambassador photographs of his children and grandchildren saying, "This is what I owe to El Salvador." Moving forward, 1985. I was around. There were some, by then, it seemed like this tall gentleman with some interesting special clothing that I have never seen before. One by the name of Rabbi Leonard Bierman, and the other one by the name of Rabbi Neil Camps-Daniel, and others that I don't remember, don't recall. But that was 12th of December, 1985, this gentleman with other clergy from Los Angeles Basin were embracing me and hugging me and other refugees from Central America that were there, because that particular congregation, that very day, at 9 a.m., I remember so clearly, like if it was just right now, was declaring itself to be a public sanctuary for us, people like Mario Fuentes, who had left short years before from El Salvador. And my crime was because I was a student in high school. And I used to be not a quiet teenager. I would not take no for an answer. And when the government tried to raise our tuition or the cost of transportation, public transportation, or the cost of living, guess what? Mario Fuentes and a bunch of other high school students will not take that lightly. We will take to the streets by the thousands. So since then, I've been an organizer. By the thousands, and block highways, and block and walk out, do walkouts in high school and colleges. And so I was a persona non grata that brought me to the States because there were death squads that were looking for me, for my older brother. And there was a brave woman by the name of Mirna, who happens to be my mom, who had come to the States earlier, some years earlier, and had been working as a seamstress in the sweatshops downtown at Los Angeles. And she heard that my older brother had been kidnapped by the death squads and had been tortured, and by a miracle of God, survived. And that I had been in front of a firing squad, by an army firing squad, because of my quote-unquote subversive activities. And so for my mom, she hears this news and she says, I got to do something, otherwise I'm gonna lose my kids. And guess what she did? As undocumented as she was, purchased an airline ticket, boarded a plane at LAX, and landed in San Salvador. We hear at the door, who could that be? We were afraid. We were not expecting any guests in the middle of the night. So our hearts were pounding. And we hear on the other side of the door a repeated knock, but a gentle voice that my heart and my ear and my mind recognized, that said, abran la puerta. It's to mommy. Open the door. Mommy is here. It was an encounter, an incredible encounter to see my mom there unexpectedly. But literally, and I mean this, Mom came and literally grabbed me and my brother out of the country, and that's why I owe to this woman the reason why I'm in front of you today. There is just like before there were twisted minds that were persecuting your ancestors, there are twisted minds these days that are persecuting and apprehending and deporting and dividing families now in this nation. And so the Mario Fuentes that have received compassion from like-minded people, good heart people, I am also, as a U.S. citizen, kind of lending my efforts and my voice and all my being to saving the families that now, in this country, are being torn apart by twisted minds in the highest places in office. And later on, I'm gonna share with you, I have some flyers on how you can also contact us and do some work with LA Voice, the organization that I'm a lead organizer there. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, and let's keep building for our families because they deserve it.